Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. Amazing to have you here. This is part 14 of the ZWEIHANDER. We're going to be jumping right in because Will is over here washing off the blade. At the end of the last episode, we etched it.
First thing this morning is going to be taking a little bit of 2000 grit paper to this and shining up those high spots. We've got the dark lows and we want those nice bright 15 and 20 highs to be nice and polished up.
Fantastic. Do also note, ladies and gents, this isn't to be concerned about, that it's non-etched and etched, because this is 1075, and this is actually going to be leather wrapped. So
And
blackened. And blackened. So one of our challenges is going to be learning how to leather wrap this stuff. We've got a whole load of challenges coming. Before we jump in, let's thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is NordVPN, a virtual private network service designed to keep you safe and give you freedom and flexibility while it is that you're browsing the web. You can get started protecting yourself by going to nordvpn.com/forge, getting 70% off a 3-year plan, and when you use code FORGE, you'll get an extra month for free. Thank you, Nord, for sponsoring this. Let's jump in.
So while I work on finishing out this blade, Alec is going to be working on the guard.
Good morning. Right. It's another day. At the end of the last episode, I broke off the ball here. Not such a good time. So, the order of operations at this point is not very clear to me. I don't know what the best choice is. I don't know if the right move is to grind down the width of the guard, because it's too thin right now, or if it's best to cut a slot for the blade itself, or if it's best to bend the thing. I can't help you much in letting you know exactly what the plan is, but we've got to start eliminating some plans, or even finding one. So, let's see how it would look in terms of the fixturing if we were to cut a slot at this point. Well, I definitely have no idea how I'm gonna fixture this thing for milling. And I have no idea how I would fixture it for milling now or later. So, order of operations wise, we're at a guaranteed standstill. Okay, so welding on something to then fixture it is the kind of option that we're thinking of now. The trouble is, if I weld on 2 pegs, or if I weld on a flat piece, I need to weld it on perfectly square to the guard, because that's going to be the line that we mill it in. So I'm wondering about maybe taking some round bar, because if we welded it to round bar, we could then roll the round bar around in the vise however we wanted to get it to the right angle. The more I'm thinking of it, the more that actually sounds smart, which is a real shock. Alrighty, I got the top half of the slot done. We still have to open up the under half of it for the tang itself. But it's lunchtime. And today is going to be a special lunch because Ty has very kindly brought in a sous vide cooker. And we've brought in some steaks that have been cooking at their medium rare cooking temperature, the only cooking temperature, might I add. And what we're going to do for a bit of fun is we're going to heat up a piece of steel and we're going to do the final bit of cooking the top and bottom of the steaks on a piece of steel in the forge, just like we did with Alex, French guy cooking, and just like I've done actually a whole lot. Cooking on a piece of steel in the forge is wonderful fun. I do think we should do a little more of it. Maybe we could do a collaboration with a cooking channel of some kind. It'd be very enjoyable. Or maybe we even have some special collaborations planned. Will has just wire brushed and degreased a big old chunk of steel. I'm gonna throw it in the forge and let it warm up. Chef Guess is preparing some beautiful steaks. This is gonna be the best in-shop meal we have had in this workshop. That is some really good steak. Oh yeah. Alrighty, that was a great lunch. Back to work on the mill.
Alrighty, I've been busy getting ready for a new piece of machinery that's arriving, but I have a little bit of time to jump back in on the guard, so we're getting back on to it. The last thing that we did is we sorted out the width here. Width situation is looking very good. I'm very happy with that. But what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and take what is a square in this plane, make it a square in this plane by taking off all the diagonals on the outside and on the insides of the loop and blending those facets in to the facets that were forged in and ground in to the guard. As you can see, the guard loops are now looking fantastic. I was filing away on it yesterday and Will came in and said, "Hey Alec, I think I've got an idea for how I could do that a little better." And guess what? He went ahead and filed a little better than I did, and that's why it's looking so good. Next steps are as follows. We need to put a ball back on. So we're going to grind this off, make ourselves a little ball, thread the end, drill the hole, thread that, and screw it on in before we do our final bend and scale finish on this thing. Trouble is, what's really frustrating is I spent 2 hours yesterday getting this lathe dialed in with the 4-jaw chuck. I think it might have been all for nothing, because I think I've got to take it out now to make this ball. Okie dokie, the ball is installed, we threaded it on in tightly, it's going to be ready for oxidizing in the forge. The trouble is I was really hoping that this end was just fine. I took a file to it just to take off some of the scale and have a look at it. And unfortunately it looks like it might have some stress cracks through it. Makes me very nervous. So what I want to do is I basically want to whack on it and see if it's going to break. Feels pretty solid. Feels as solid as the new end. But though it feels solid, it doesn't look particularly nice. So I think we might break it off anyway. In the interest of making this sword look as good as possible. No going back now, at least. Drop the ball again. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video has been weeks in the making, as we've had all sorts of fun interruptions. We had Kurt Harlan's visit, which was fantastic. Will and Kurt made a beautiful dagger and a beautiful hunting knife. I highly recommend watching that two-part series. We also received a brand new 1940s, so not brand new, but we received a new to us power hammer and another awesome machine. So be sure to check out those videos as well. Subscribe if you're new. And of course, I'd like to end this by thanking today's sponsor. As you know, today's sponsor has been NordVPN. And though we are here in the beautiful mountains of Montana, tucked away from civilization, we understand that the world right now is in a little bit of panic. There's a lot of scary stuff happening, and the COVID-19 threat has a lot of you folks stuck at home, either working or not working. And in all that free time, you might be finding yourself wanting to stream some shows, watch yourselves some digital programming, either on YouTube or on streaming services that you're all familiar with. And a trouble that you can often encounter is content not being available in the country where you're currently located. Well, NordVPN is a workaround for that, because they have thousands of servers all around the world, and the ability for you to choose where in the world you want the websites you browse to think you're browsing from. It works like this. I'm you. I'm trying to get information from Callan, who's a website. Nope. But when a NordVPN server acts as an intermediary between you and the websites you browse, you can pick the country that works for that website, with the added benefit that a hacker can't get the encrypted information. Thank you. Nord is fantastic while you're traveling or while you're at home, for extra safety as well as extra flexibility. And you can get started now risk-free, because they have a money-back guarantee by going to nordvpn.com/forge, where you're going to be getting 70% off a 3-year plan. And when you use code FORGE at checkout, you'll be getting an extra month of Nord for free. Thank you, Nord, for sponsoring this. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.